Hi, Ken. Something has changed, and I'm trying to. So many things have changed on this screen all of a sudden. Like, I want to change the gift goal, and I can't. Dude. What is happening? It won't let me change it. Dude, I don't know what's happening. This is very strange. Hold on. So weird. Hello, everybody. Flippin'. Hold on. Hi, Rain. Hi, Dink. Hi, Ken. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Monica. Hi, my friends. There's been some update that's occurred because, though, like, I don't know, trying to use things is not the same all of a sudden in the last, 12, 24 hours or so? Crazy. Rebecca, are you at lunch? Because if so, I will pull your card real fast. I hope everyone is having a beautiful day. Here's a couple of things I want to remind you of. It's Tuesday. Hi, Faith. It's Tuesday, which means that it is craft night. So if you are someone who wants to come craft and yap, please feel free in the Discord. Tomorrow, I'm pretty positive, is Ether Study Hall. And it's, let me just double check my mouth. 1 second. Yes, tomorrow is Ether Study Hall at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where the topic of it is energetic hygiene. So foundations, all the things about grounding, cleansing, shielding, all the stuff. So if you are someone who's a member of Healer's Hearth or Soul Sanctuary or Ember, come hang out with us for that. Friday is the collective healing for people in Healer's Hearth and Soul Sanctuary. Saturday is Soul Sessions. And then Sunday is the guided meditation and energy work. So ton of things going on this week over on the Patreon and in the Corp. So come hang out. I also am going to open 3 reading spots today. We're going to call them whatever comes through readings. So those are $22 hairs. I'm going to open 3 of those spots. Otherwise, we have our cards out. Monica, thank you for the heart me. Oh, what a beautiful day it is. Finky and I were just outside for an hour. We were like stretching. Kai, no Noah-Con tickets, huh? Hi, Arlie, how are you? Faith, thanks for the heart me, my friend. Oh, I was supposed to change the viewer wishes and I did not. All right, Monica, let me go. I'm going to do Monica. I'm going to grab Rebecca so she doesn't miss it. Oh, let's see. Monica, this is the bee spirit of prosperity. Arlie, thanks for the heart me. Let's see. The spirit of the beast says that the sweet abundance of the universe is flowing into your life. However, you need to take action and perhaps join with others to align with the frequency of your dreams. Believe that you deserve and your goal will unfold. Lorna, thanks for the heart me. Dink, appreciate you. All right, let's see. Monica, that was fabulous. Hi, Tom. Oh, all right, let's see, Rebecca, what we got. Holy shit. Chaos. I also feel the need to tell you that you're getting messages that you're ignoring. I think you know this, but I feel the need to remind you again. And I feel like you can feel it, Rebecca, truthfully. Like, I feel like you feel it pushing up here. I had this conversation earlier. If you're someone who receives messages and information, you may think that you've turned it off and that you're not receiving them, but how I'm going to explain it is like this, okay? I explained it wrong earlier, so I've thought about it further. I want you to think that your brain is a radio, okay, that never gets to turn off. And so you may think that you're turning the volume all the way down, but literally it's still all the information is coming in and it gets stuck in your field, right? So just because you're not acknowledging it, you're just causing this big buildup that like starts here. So I'm telling you, pay attention and sit with it. I don't know if there's something you're afraid of receiving a message about, but like sit with it, because the pressure's building on your right side, Rebecca, and it's like up into your third eye. All right, let's see. This is the Water Spirit Manifesting Dreams card. Hi, Marilyn, how are you? I hope everybody is having a beautiful day. The Spirit of Water says, water flows in cycles, and right now you're in a cycle of manifesting your dreams. Don't stop the flow by doubting or hesitating. Allow your emotions the freedom to be expressed. Timing is everything, and right now is your time. Rebecca? Take the jump, my friend. You're worthy of receiving the messages. Thanks for the heart, me. You're worthy of receiving them. All right, Faith, let's see. Thank you guys for bearing with me. We have an oracle list going, so don't worry, I'll get to you. And if for some reason I don't, just remind me and we'll get to you. I pinky promise. I have 3 reading spots open today. They're whatever comes through readings. They're 22. And then also don't forget, if you're looking for more in-depth stuff, check out the reports in the private booking link. Okay, let's see. What do we got for Faith? This is the Moonlight Enchantment Magic card. Hello, Wildflower. Let's see, Faith. The Spirit of Moonlight Enchantment says, believe in magic. You are being given the powerful mystical messages from Spirit. Take time to listen. Allow the luminescent, receptive energy of the moon to activate your creativity. You receive mystical messages, and you are a spiritual messenger for others. Boom! Faith, that was beautiful. All right, let's see, Arlie, what we got. Arlie, this is the Dragon Power card. Let's see. The Spirit of the Dragon says, within you dwells the remarkable power to manifest your dreams, gain great riches, and activate ancient wisdom. Take back your power and express your strength with grace. Also fabulous. Lorna, are you still here with me, my friend? And Tom, if you're still here, you're after Lorna. And then I have Marilyn. And I know I have Kai on the list, but I feel like there was one more. Wildflower. All right. Hi, Tom. Thanks for hanging out with me. You're welcome. All right, let's see. If I don't have a Lorna, then I'm just going to go to Tom. Hi, Nikki, my friend. How are you? Meraki Vibes, thanks for the heart, me. We'll get you on the Oracle card list if you'd like one. Okay, Tom, I'm coming to you. Thank you. All right, let's see what we got, Tom. Tom, this is the Hummingbird Spirit of Joy. Good. I'm so glad to hear it. So glad to hear it. It is good to see you. I hope you're having a good Tuesday. The Spirit of the Hummingbird says, replenish yourself. True happiness comes from the following that dictates of your soul. Life is change. Be open to change and look for joy in the moment, and find your boundaries and stand strong. Discover your vibes because all is well. It is only Tuesday in the United States. It's not that way in other countries though. All right, let's see. What do we got, Marilyn? What do we got? Marilyn, this is the Bee Spirit of Prosperity. I get that too. See, the weekend's busy for me, so I always like Monday and Tuesday. The Spirit of the Bee says the sweet abundance of the universe is flowing into your life. However, you need to take action and perhaps join with others to align with your frequency of your goals. Believe that you deserve and your goal will unfold. Marilyn, that was beautiful. Love it. All right, let's see. What do I got for Wildflower? Nikki, welcome to Unicorn Alley, my friend. Nikki, if you're in the Discord, let me know what your username is so I can get you into the alley, because super fans vote on movie night and stuff like that. So make sure we get you in there. I also want to remind everybody, Rain, thanks for hanging out with me, my friend. I also want to remind you guys that there is a workshop coming up on the 22nd at 2 p.m. And it's learning how to walk energy cords. So what that means is finding your loved one, finding your missing cat, finding your lost headphones. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to check it out. It's in the Discord or it's over in the Patreon. All right, Wildflower, what we got? This is also the bee spirit of prosperity. I see a common theme today. A theme. Wildflower, the sweet abundance of the universe is flowing into your life. However, you need to take action and perhaps join with others to align with the frequency of your dreams. Believe that you deserve and your goals will unfold. All right, let's see. Kai. Meraki, you're next, and then I got Rain and Nikki. Let's see, and if there's someone who I missed on the list, just let me know. It's never intentional, I promise. Kai, this is the Unicorn Purity card. You're so welcome. The spirit of the unicorn says, no matter what happens in your life, step into your innate innocence. You have a pure soul, and you're a child of the Creator. Let go of the past and set the world with new eyes, and almost miraculously, wonders will abound. Kai, that was pretty good, I must say. All right, Meraki, let's see what we got. This is the maple spirit of generosity. Hello, Felix. Let's see. The spirit of the maple says, be open to receive the bounty of the universe. At the same time, be generous with others and yourself. A warmth of spirit radiates from you. Share from your heart and receive with an open heart, and success will blossom. Boom. That was a good one. Big fan of that. All right, Rain. Let's see what we got. Rain, this is the Wise Woman of the Grove Grace card. You're so welcome. Thank you for letting me pull it for you. The spirit of a Wise Woman of the Grove says you can relax and let go. Your path is guided. Spiritual nobility is growing within you, and the spirit of grace is softly unfolding in your life. Kindly honor the truth of others, even if you don't agree or know better. The Creator knows the truth. That was a pretty good one, I must say. Okay, let's see, Nikki, what we got. This is also the maple spirit of generosity. Let's see. Be open to receive the bounty of the universe, and at the same time, be generous with others and with yourself. A warmth of spirit radiates from you, and share from your heart and receive with an open heart, and your success will blossom. Nikki, also a fabulous card. I hope everyone's having a really good day. This morning we did the daily collective. We did a daily collective reading, which also had some root and heart energy work involved in it, if you are someone who's over there. Tonight is craft night in the Discord. Tomorrow is Ether Study Hall, which is the monthly Patreon workshop for members. So if you're someone who's an Ember Healer's Hearth or Soul Sanctuary, it is tomorrow, and the topic of the workshop is energetic hygiene. Also, there is a new workshop on the 22nd to learn how to walk energy cords. It is not a class where we're going to talk about energetic foundations. So we won't be talking about grounding or shielding or any of those things. We're strictly going to go right to application. So if you're someone who has a comfortable understanding of your foundations and you would like to be a part of this class, it's $33. Send the payment to whatever link works for you, and just make sure you put in the note what it's for. All right, let's see. Sophie, Beth, my friend, how are you? All right, let's see. This is the Enchanted Fern Grotto Refuge card. The spirit of the Enchanted Fern Grotto says, retreat and replenish your inner resources. Now is not the time to act, but to incubate your ideas for the future. Be still. The answers are within you, and magic is all around you. Butterfly, thanks for the follow. Oh no, everybody seems to be coming down with some kind of like crusty, dusty sickness. And it all seems to be like sinus respiratory, like bleh. So I'm sending you all the love in the world around that, because that's a big bummer. Beth, you want a card for the day? Is there anyone else I missed who was supposed to be on the list, but I didn't get you? And then also don't forget, it's craft night tonight. I have 3 reading spots available. They're $22 a spot, and it's whatever comes through. So it could be energy work, could be your spirit guides, could be past life stuff. It's just, we're just going to see whatever happens. I just did Kai. That one was for her. It was the Fern Grotto Enchanted card, the Refuge card. Do you want me to read it again? Do. Oh, it's okay. You're fine. The retreat and replenish your inner resources. Now is not the time to act, but to incubate your ideas for the future. Be still. The answers are within you, and magic is all around you. Hi, Queen. All right, Beth, let's see. Beth, this is the Willow spirit of flexibility. The spirit of the willow says, be flexible in your life and be willing to bend rather than to break. Be amendable to change and you'll flourish in wondrous ways. You're welcome. Queen, I hope you're having a beautiful day. I hope everybody is having a beautiful day today. It is a Tuesday. It is super nice out. Got to sit outside, do some grounding, hang out in the sun. Had a whole conversation about the Tower of Babel, ironically enough. And then, what else? Oh, so tonight's craft night. Tomorrow is the Ether Study Hall workshop. And it's all about energetic hygiene. So that is for people who are over in the Patreon. Let's see. Then Friday is the collective energy work for people in Healer's Hearth and Soul Sanctuary. Saturday is Soul Sessions, and Sunday is the guided meditation. And then there is a new workshop coming up on the 22nd to learn how to walk energy cords, which realistically is, I don't know, say you haven't been able to get in touch with your friend all day and they're not responding to your messages, and you're not trying to be nosy, but you just want to get signs of life. You can learn to slide down their energy cord, make sure they have a heartbeat, and then you can go about your day, mind your business, and not set yourself up on a panic attack that somebody's when they're fine. So those are like, say your dog runs away and you can't find him. You can slide down and figure out where he is and make sure that he's still there, you know? So that's what the whole topic is of this workshop. Hi, JJ, how are you? So, Rain, I don't remote view in my purview. I walk energy cords. So, when I go to, like, if I was to come over to you right now, I could tell you everything around you. I could tell you where you're sitting. I could tell you what you're looking at on your phone. I could tell you what the room looks like around you. But the way I do it is I walk to your energy cord and I grab onto your third eye and then I look through it. So I physically bring my consciousness wherever I go. I don't bring it back. And so that's my understanding in the difference. So that's what I teach, is how to slide to those cords. It's also how I find missing items. So, like, I'm going to use Courtney. She's not here, but I'm going to use her as an example real quick. So Courtney came in the other day and, well, it was like a couple weeks ago. And she was missing, her diamond fell out of her ring. Okay. And so what I do is I connect. So it's Courtney's ring, right? So that means that it has an energetic attachment to Courtney. Okay. So there's a cord established. So what I do is I walk the cord to Courtney and then I walk the cord to whatever the object is. And that's how I get my information. So it's not, I wouldn't call it viewing, because from my understanding, it's the opposite. This was also something that like, oh my gosh, this was also something that my guides taught me too. It's not something that like a human taught me, if that makes sense. So I just want to put that out there. If you take this workshop, I don't give out certificates, just so you know. So you'll be certified in your own right. Beth, I hope you have a beautiful day, my friend. Jezebel, good morning. I'm going to pull your card in 1 second. I get that, Rain, 100%. It takes, like, if I can explain this to anybody, here, someone, like, really worth asking about it is, Ken, truthfully, because Ken is one of the people who does it, like, most often. I'm going to put him on blast here, but Ken can literally, like, find you in a crowded, like, so, say that, like, say you're in a like a big theme park or something, like Ken is now at the point where he'll be able to find you and like tell you what's around you and stuff. And it's because he worked on it. Like it was practice. The other thing too, in this modality that I utilize, you have got to trust yourself. And you're going to have a lot of moments where it'll make you frustrated, because your logic brain will want to take over. And it sometimes is helpful, but it most of the time is not. So girl, I give you so much credit for that. I'm going to pull cards in a second, but I used to do practice stuff like this for people. And then I started having practitioners come in here, grabbing people's energy and reading people without permission. And then other people, their way is better than I even had someone come in here and question my guides in the middle of a reading. I was like, oh no. So I shut down the practice space. So I give you so much credit for that, because I literally couldn't do it anymore. Also energetic hygiene was like a huge thing. So God, I give you so much credit. But these are things that just take practice. So what I'm going to say is, if you're someone who comes to this workshop, I am going to teach you, basically we're going to expand on Ether 102. So if you're someone who's taken Ether 101 and Ether 102, and Ether 102, you learn what I'll call the hand or the claw, okay? We're going to touch on it in the workshop. And so this workshop is going to expand on that. So I'm going to teach you how to figure out, like, I'm going to basically teach you how to diffuse a bomb. So you're going to look at all the different parts of it, right? And you're going to be able to distinguish what cord goes where. And what I'm going to tell you is sometimes you're going to accidentally slide down a cord, but it's okay. And the more that you practice this, you'll be able to know if someone's about to call you. You'll be able to know if someone's about to text you, because you're going to be more apt at getting that information and recognizing when a cord connects. Jezebel, if you're someone who would like to be a part of the workshop, the fee for the workshop is $33. So what I tell people to do is just send it to whatever payment link works for you. And just put in the note that it's for the workshop. And I do my live workshops in the Discord. So I just make sure that you're a part of the Discord too, so that you get access to the class. We do it live in the voice chat, so people get to like ask questions and like work out stuff. So that's where I hold them all, is in the cord. Yep, it'll definitely, and I'm telling you, the more you work on it and build that trust in yourself, because sometimes you'll get some wild information and you're like, what? And I have to tell you something. I did it this morning with Ken and Dinky. I got a piece of information a couple days ago that I've been holding on to, because I was like, no way, that can't be accurate. And so, it was accurate, but I don't share all of it with people anymore. And part of that is my own confirmation process. So just remember too, if you get information, you don't always have to share it. And also that goes to the conversation about knowledge and wisdom today, right? So knowledge is getting the facts and the truth and all the information, and wisdom is the discernment and how to use it and disseminate it. So that's like one of those other things where I really think it's important for us to, yes, girl. Woo! So that's the other thing I'll tell you. Every time you have a spiritual experience, you don't got to tell everybody, okay? You do not. I tell you guys about a ton of mine, but I don't tell you about every one of them, you know? There are still some things I keep private, and I'm going to tell you one thing that I keep private. Jezebel, I'm sorry, I'm yakking. I'm going to pull your card in a second. I don't talk about who I work with, not because I'm gatekeeping them, but because I don't I see it as a respect thing. I don't walk into a restaurant and go, well, I work with so-and-so, or I know so-and-so. Because to me, it's an ego, like an ego name drop. And so whenever people ask me like who, you know, whatever, hi Mia, I just keep it to myself, because for me, it's just about respect. Like, I would hope that there aren't people who go all over the place going, I work with Molly, I work with her, I work with her, I work with her, to try to use it as an ego boost. So that's just the only reason that I kind of keep that to myself, if that makes sense. Thanks for the Go Populars. All right, Jezebel, let's see. Let's see. Hello. Jezebel, this is the Dragon Power card. The spirit of the dragon says, within you dwells the remarkable power to manifest your dreams, gain great riches, and activate ancient wisdom. Take back your power and express your strength with grace. Hi, Ogo. Thank you for the wink. Okay, Jezza, have you ever seen me do a soul cycle spread? I need some chapstick, guys. Hold on a second. I gotta find it. That's not the one I wanted, but we'll make it work. And then don't forget, if you're someone who is a part of Ember, Healer's Hearth, or Soul Sanctuary, Ether Study Hall is the workshop that's a part of that subscription every month. So if you're someone who wants to be a part of a workshop every month, check out the Patreon. Ember's on a 7-day free trial, and Ember's also $20 a month. There's really levels for everybody. So Ember is like baseline daily collective, the shadow work journal, you get access to the live meditation, not the recording, and Ether Study Hall. Also the full moon stuff that we do. Healer's Hearth is the next step up. I call it Healing the Healers. So if you're someone who does this work, you're a first responder, you're a therapist, stuff like that, that's really who it's meant for, because there's a lot of healing things that we do specifically to heal your wounds and the wounds you may grab from other people. And then Soul Sanctuary is really like for people who are ready to jump full in. It's $111, and what it includes is everything in those other tiers. You also get your soul design report within the first week. You get access to Soul Sessions, which is a support group for your soul. You also get access to my musings, and you also get direct access to me through the chat feature. So if you ever have questions, anything that comes up, and you're also do a reading and your own energy work every month in the Patreon as well, if you're a member of Soul Sanctuary. So there's a lot of tiers just for people to try to fit what your intention may be, because everyone's at different places. So Jezebel, how I do soul cycle spreads is I ask to see one of the more prominent soul cycles that you're working through in this lifetime. And then we pull a couple ways to see how we can work through it. So let's see. Can I ask you a question? Are you someone who struggled with imposter syndrome? Okay, so I think there are some belief, like in this cycle itself, I think there are, how do I ask this without sounding like a dick? Are you aware that there could potentially be some relationships in your current timeline that help enforce that idea and that belief system that you hold? Okay, so what I want to let you know is that with that being said, so this is the imposter card, okay? I really like to explain it this way too, because this is also yellow. And so that feeling of like worthiness and self-confidence, that all lives in our solar plexus, right? And so that's also where we store a bunch of belief systems. And what we have to do is we have to sort through whether there are belief systems that we're holding on to, or whether there's somebody else's belief system that we're holding on to. And if it is in fact someone else's, why are we still holding on to it? So with that and with looking into it, it's something you'll be able to start to move through the cycle with, but you're going to have to start to figure out what is actually your belief system that you're holding on to versus what is the belief that someone instilled upon you. Because I just get this feeling that you've probably had some people throughout your life try to dim your light pretty frequently. Does that make sense? Freaking imposter card just came out again, because I was like, what are some things we can do about it? And so this is strange. Hold on. Can I ask you something? Do you have someone, like, is there someone you could directly identify in your life that, like, maybe not intentionally, but like tries to keep people small? It gives me the impression of maybe somebody who, like, no one's ever good enough for them. Okay, so one thing I'm going to stress here, because again, this is what, like, Rebecca. So the imposter card and the association card has come out again. And so the other thing is too, is one thing sometimes we have a tendency to do as humans is we try to be good enough for people who aren't good enough for themselves. And in turn, we hold ourselves to an impossible standard because they don't even have a standard set. Okay, so I think what I'll tell you is, from how this pull has come out, I will say that I think that is one of the best decisions you could make in the growth of not abandoning yourself. Because I have a feeling this person kind of tries to force self-abandonment, and that's where we also would pick up, like, beliefs and things that aren't ours. Because when we abandon ourselves and we lose our sense of self, we'll try to assimilate wherever we can as a safety measure. That's a bummer, soul. Relationships are hard. Hard. So, Jezebel, if I can suggest anything, I would keep finding small ways to take your power back and establish what your belief is about yourself. So if you're ever, like, being hard on yourself, or you're calling yourself a name, or like you're not giving yourself grace, I would ask you to ask whose voice is it. Because I think you're holding on to it. Thanks for the donuts. I think you're holding on to some stuff thinking it's yours and it isn't. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you for allowing me in your energy. It is much appreciated. It's always an honor and a privilege. It's one of the hardest things we start to identify. Like, when we start to identify what our actual feelings are, then we can start to identify, like, where things come from. And then from there, we can start to pick out the actual energetic file that's associated with it. So, I hope everyone's having a beautiful Tuesday. Don't forget, tonight is craft night. It is at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Discord. Tomorrow is the Ether Study Hall workshop, if you're someone who's a member of Healer's Heart, Soul Sanctuary, or Ember. And then Friday is the new podcast episode. It's also the collective energy work for Healer's Heart. And then Saturday is soul sessions, and Sunday is the live guided meditation. So those are all the things we have going on this week. Jezza, thanks for the share, my friend. Is there anyone who hasn't gotten an oracle card yet, or who has questions for me about anything? Everybody's so quiet today. Everybody's so quiet. Hello, Laura. Sure, Mia. Let me pull Laura's and I'm going to come over to you. All right, let's see. Laura, this is the willow spirit of flexibility. Let's see. The spirit of the willow says, be flexible in your life and be willing to bend rather than break. Be amenable to change and you will flourish in wondrous ways. Laura, that was fab. I hope you're having a great day. All right, Mia, let's see, my friend. Let's see. Mia, left or right? You're so welcome. Left or right? So don't forget that new workshop to learn how to walk energy cords is on the 22nd at 2 p.m. It's $33 a person live in the Discord. If you're someone who would like to read up on it, it's posted in the Discord and on Patreon. Uh-oh, someone got filtered. Someone got filtered. Mia, was it you? Did you pick left or right? It's probably Mia. Mia, I feel like I'm going to grab you the right one because that's what it feels like. Left the opposite to right. Okay. This is the Phoenix Transmutation card. Okay, let's see. The spirit of the Phoenix says, a big change is at hand in your life. What feels like an ending is really a beginning. Rising out of the flames and ashes, you're entering a new cycle. Even if life seems murky in these areas, this is only the clearing before rebirth. Hang in there. The best is yet to come. I think I know why. Hold on a second. All right, let's see. Mia, that was beautiful. Thanks for letting me pull it for you, my friend. I think the fit was one of the things it filtered for some reason. So here's what I want to talk about, okay? If you are someone who lately has been feeling like the world is too much and you notice that you're getting disconnected from yourself, I just want to give you a friendly reminder that it's okay to turn the news off. You don't have to constantly worry about the state of things that you can't control 24 hours a day. And this goes with everything. People, places, and things. Okay, so if you catch yourself ruminating on something or like consistently focusing on something, that's where your energy is going to go. So I'm going to say this to you again with all the love in the world. If you're someone who only worries about having money, you're going to have none. If you only worry about when are you going to find the love of your life, it's not going to happen because joke's on you. The love of your life is yourself. Where you put your energy is where the energy flows. So if you're constantly sitting in a place of fear, right? Fear of lack, fear of not having enough, these things will continue to pop up until you are cognizant of where your energy is going. Yeah, and hi Yodi, long time no see. When I first started doing this, one of the things that my guide said to me for weeks on end was the only thing to fear is fear itself. And it took me a really long time to grasp the actual understanding of it, right? And who was the first person who said that? It was like 1942. Oh, Yodi, let's see. So just remember, especially if you're someone who you find yourself sitting in like shame, fear, and guilt a lot, it's not a bad thing. It's just low. That's all. It's just low. This is the dragonfly spirit of change, Yodi. Be willing to change your perspective and good fortune will follow. Sometimes you need to back up to go forward, and as people get older, they find it harder to change. So to activate youthfulness, be willing to make changes without hesitation. That was fabulous. All right, Jessica, let's see. This is the Dragon Power card. Within you dwells the remarkable power to manifest your dreams, gain great riches, and activate ancient wisdom. Take back your power and express your strength with grace. That was fab. Jessica, thanks for letting me pull it for you. So, friendly reminder, tomorrow is the Ether Study Hall workshop. If you are someone who is a member of Ember, Healer's Hearth, or Soul Sanctuary, that is included in your membership. So make sure you come hang out. We're talking all about energetic foundations. So that means grounding, shielding, cleansing. How are we building this daily practice into your daily life? And I gotta be so honest. If there's someone out there who's like, I don't think, Monica, if there's someone out there who's like, I don't think I have to do that. Do you wipe your booty cheeks every day? You wash your face? Brush your teeth? Comb your hair? Feed yourself? Just saying. Just saying. Dink. Okay, Monica, I got you, my friend. Hold on. Nikki, I also see you, my friend. Let's see. Boom. Keisha, I will give you an unbiased, I can't give you an unbiased answer to that statement. I've never met a good person with that name, so don't ask me. Oh, Tay, thank you for the rose, my friend. How are you? Get it, Jessica. It's worth it. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to do Monica's reading, and then I'm going to do Nikki's spread. I have 2 reading spots left. They're $22 a spot. Today, they're whatever the fuck comes through. So there's not, if your guides come through, if we go to a past life, if we wind up in your energy, we're just going to see what happens. We're winging it. So I have 2 spots left for that. And then don't forget, if you want to dig more into like your guides and your energy or your past lives, there's snapshots available for either your energy and your guides or your past life and your soul cycles. And what that is I do the reading and then I write it all down for you and send it in a pretty little file. Okay, Monica, can I come over there? I should do the reading in progress thing, but I shut the other thing off, so. Okay. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you struggle to find pleasure in things? Like, do you struggle to find joy sometimes? Okay. Your lower back hurt? Does your lower back, specifically more right side, carry more tension? Okay. Here's the deal. I have to tell you something. Do you hold a belief that you have to do for people or help for people to like fill something? I don't know how else to say that. It sounds way more like terrible when I say it out loud than what it feels like, if that makes sense. But like, I think there's a part of you that overgives and like you think you have to do it, but you don't actually like to do it. Like, does that make sense? Because here's the thing. Your guide gives me the impression that you have been taking more time to be present and aware, but self-care isn't just presence and awareness, it's grace and joy and passion and following our passions and the things that we're joyful about. And I get this feeling like, do you feel like some days you're like really just like going, what's the word? One second, it was just on the tip of my tongue. Like, do you just feel like it's like Groundhog Day sometimes? Because they like show me a box, okay? And it's like, this is it, like, this is Monica's box. And this is the parameters that Monica feels she needs to exist in. And it's like you're, let me ask you a question. If you were to step out of the box, would you feel like you would get in trouble or something bad would happen? Yikes. Okay. Sorry, scared the bananas out of me. Monica, I need you to, I'm not going to put you on Front Street, because there is no judgment in this. And I think a lot of people are also in the same boat, but I want you to really ask yourself, like, where do you find joy in your life? Like, what do you, like, if I asked you today to write down all the things that bring you like passion and joy, would you have an answer for me? And your answer can't be somebody else. Okay? And this really is a struggle for a lot of people. And I am not in any way, shape, or form saying your children aren't important or your husband or your wife is not important, because that is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you can't build a home in other people. So you can't tell me your joy is found through one other, like, you know what I mean? Like, there can be a piece of joy, but it can't all just come from one other living being thing. We have to find out what are the things that internally bring Monica joy. So, like, what does Monica like to do? Does she like to write? Does she like to read? Does she like to play with plants? Does she like to craft? Does she like to stretch? Does she like to sing and dance and listen to music? What are the things that actually bring you joy? Do you like to cook? What are those things? Because the back of your sacral chakra is where all of your problems are seeming to hang out. Like, I love that. What I also want you to do too, right? Because sometimes we can be stuck in this, right? As someone who's done this before, sometimes we can get so focused on helping other people that we forget that if we don't take care of the ship, we won't be able to do anything else. So make sure that as you're learning and helping other people, you're also learning about you, because you should, like, the way that I see a lot of people is as a mirror, okay? A lot of people see me as that, and some people don't like it, and that's okay. I heard something recently that was like, I have to be the villain in your story because I'm not here to co-sign anything, and I'm also, like, I don't, as a hero, like, I need people to be, like, in the shit, right? Because heroes want to save. I just want to inspire you to action. And that's what villains do, right? So I've started to change my purview on that. Not like a villain, but like, I'm going to make you question yourself, because that's where growth comes from. So make sure that when we're looking to help other people, we also realize that we can't do that unless we're looking in here. Because you have this big thing dude, on the, like, your lower back is lit up like a Christmas tree. And it's like this, and then it goes like off to the right side. So it tells me that there's a belief that you're holding on to that doesn't actually align, and it's physically starting to come out, and it has to do with like giving, or giving too much of yourself and not leaving enough to give to yourself. Because sometimes as people who are right healers, we will abandon ourselves to save the troop. And that just don't work, because even if you're on an airplane, right, you gotta, because if I pass out, I can't help you. What do you want me to do? I'm unconscious. Nothing I can do. But if I was so focused on you versus me, we'd both be dead, you know? So that's one of the, sorry, so that's one of my hair just went crazy too. So that's one of those things where it's like, we have to make sure that we're cognizant of what we're doing, where our energy flows. Because your guys are also giving me this impression. I wish I had a cup, but I don't. Yeah, I do. I'm using Jack's stuff as a prompt. 1 second. Because... Hello. Okay. All right. Here's a visual. Monica, this is your cup. Okay? You got a big cup, right? Big cup. This cup is filled with like love and all the good things. But you see what's wrong with this cup? You see that? Okay. It's not almost empty. It's a little full. Okay? But what happens is we as people, we go, well, you don't have any, so hold on. See, I still have some. And now you have some. And then tomorrow comes. And you go, well, I guess I still, here you go. Yep, see, I still have some. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Next day. Here you go. Next day. Here you go. Still fine, right? I still have some. I still have more than you, right? Then, after 3 weeks of that, it's empty. But you didn't realize that because it was a slow drip. Does that make sense? We didn't realize it until critical mass happened because it was a baby drip. So what I don't want you to do is keep going down that road, because I really think that you're taking on a bunch of other people's responsibilities because you feel that you like have to do it. And I think that sometimes your inner belief system about what makes a good person comes from other beliefs that have been ingrained in you that aren't yours to hold yet. Does that make sense? Now my hair's doing weirdo shit. The other thing too is, I asked if there was like anything else they wanted me to touch on with this. And so, do you also deal with probably not constant, but do you deal with like but it's often enough to notice this like stabbing pain or ache between the back of your shoulder blades? And then the other thing I feel the need to remind you of is this. When we get like angry or frustrated, it's not a bad thing. It's a sign. It's a signal. Your body's trying to tell you something. Usually it's trying to tell us where we're letting ourselves down, where we're giving our power away, where something is unjust. So when you feel like a whole visceral reaction to something, don't automatically think that we're overreacting or anything. I want you to ask your body what it's actually trying to tell you. Because a lot of the time, it has something to say, but as society, we're programmed to just give it a name and push it off. And that new program is anxiety. Everything's fucking anxiety. If a doctor can't explain it, it's anxiety. That used to be, it's anxiety is the new itis. So what I want to show you is this. If I was looking, like I'm looking energetically at your back, I need to draw this. If I'm looking energetically at your back, Okay, here's your... This is your right side, okay, for shits and gigs. This is your right side, and this is your left side. You have this block that goes like, it's like a shadow that lurks here, and then it goes like this. And what it shows me is that there is something that you feel, I don't know if you can see, pencils suck. There is something that you feel resentful about yourself, like you don't want to let it happen again. You're afraid to let your guard down. And it's directly tied to beliefs that you hold about pleasure and joy. And it also comes from childhood. So there's just one of those buried beliefs that I have a feeling, Monica, you're probably one of those people that self-sabotages, but you don't even know that you do it. Like you feel that you, like that's just how it is. Does that make sense? Naomi, thanks for the follow. Matt, thanks for the follow. I'm gonna, it's one of those things you're gonna have to sit with it and figure it out. Honestly, it's gonna take time because like I try to tell everybody, you're like an onion and you have to start slowly breaking it away. But what it looks like is there's something you internally do not think you deserve, and you aren't going to allow yourself to receive it until you move that block. The other thing I'm going to say too before I like cut out of here is strictly this. You hold yourself sometimes to a standard that is unattainable, and that is also a way that sometimes we self-sabotage. So also with that, make sure that you are finding ways to fill up your cup that bring you joy, not just going through the motions of what you think it should be. Does that make sense? We're all onions. We're all onions. They even talked about it in Shrek. Naomi, thanks for lighting up the hat and the mustache. A sweet potato or a gold potato or a white potato? Or are you a purple potato? I have questions. You are welcome, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Monica, I'm going to pull you a talisman. And then, Nikki, I'm going to go to your soul cycle reading. Thank you for letting me in your energy. I have 2 reading spots left. They're general reads, so it's whatever comes through. They're $22 hairs a spot if you would like one. And then don't forget, if you want to do more in-depth stuff, check out the private booking link. Ooh, I just learned about those, Yodi, like 2 weeks ago, and they're great. They made the best mashed potatoes ever. However, I do like Okinawan sweet potatoes, I must say. Holy... Monica, this is the safe travel card. Whoa. You are on a journey into the unknown. You are in search of a new or expanded understanding of yourself, others, nature, or a higher good. This experience opens your mind and lets you see a piece of the puzzle that you never knew existed. This card can mean it's time to take a pilgrimage, travel abroad, or an inner journey of introspection. This act is of great importance in knowing who you are and the meanings that you're looking for. This card can mean a metaphorical journey into your own beliefs. It might be time to discover the constraints of the limiting thoughts we sometimes impose on ourselves. The Arctic Tern, a wise and experienced traveler, will guide you towards the shore. The affirmation is, I am ready for this journey. Spirit mic drop. Hi Shayna, how are you? I hope everybody is having a beautiful Monday. Nikki, are you still in here with me so we can do your soul cycle? You are very welcome, my friend. Very, very welcome. Shayna, thanks for the heart me, my friend. Sorry, my hair's doing some weird shit all of a sudden. I don't know what it's doing. I don't know what it's doing. I have a question. Do I keep saying the wrong day? Because I think I must literally be missing something. Because that's the second person to say that. What am I missing? Am I saying the wrong day? I don't even think I said what day it was. Did I? Did I say Monday? Is that where the problem is? Because that's the second time someone's made a statement, but they haven't actually told me what the issue is. Guys, I'm too literal. You can't give me subjective messages. You have to tell me what the issue is. Okay. All right. Because that's the second like random comment that's come through, but no one's told me why they're making that comment. So thank you. I'm like, what the hell? Okay, let's see. Let's see. All right, Nikki. So we're going to go into soul cycles. Girl, I just didn't know I was doing it, but I guess I must have lost one. It's Tuesday, it's craft night. So if you're someone who wants to come be crafty, come hang out with us in the Discord. All right, let's see. Nikki, have you been getting like messages and synchronicities, but you're struggling to believe them? Most of the people that we know in this lifetime are people that we've had multiple lifetimes with, because we wind up in the same soul cycle circle of like teaching each other the lesson type of thing, if that makes sense. There you go. Perfect timing. Hi, Jessica. Okay, so what if I said to you that the first step is receiving the messages, not interpreting them? Does that make sense and give it a separation? Because one of the first things we have to focus on is interpreting the message. Not interpreting it, but receiving it before we interpret it. Does that make sense? Jessica, what kind of reading are you looking for, my friend? I have 2 spots left for whatever comes through readings today for 22. If you want to do a soul cycle spread, it's one of the manifestings. Because Nikki, the synchronicity in the doubt card came up. So it gives me the impression that I think one of your soul cycles is struggling with the intangible things, because you're someone who is very fact and logic based. Does that make sense? User, I cannot. My apologies. Didn't understand something I said? I want to make sure that I articulate it in a way that would make sense. Okay, so what I want to tell you is this. It does make sense. So this soul cycle also goes with, it's going to be coming into your emotions. So what I mean by you're someone who struggles with the intangible is this. You probably struggle to interpret or deal with your emotions because you don't find them super important. Like, fact and logic trumps what you feel. And sometimes it probably feels not really important to process through them. So one of the ways that you can work through this soul cycle is just focus on receiving the messages and being open to receiving them. instead of trying to decipher them and like spinning yourself up in a knot, try to sit and just receive. And all you can do is just write it down if you want, and then you can go back to it whenever. But one of the hardest parts of having a soul cycle with intangibles is you're going to have to really work on trusting yourself, because once you build the trust in yourself, it'll be easier to deal with all the intangible things because you are the walking confirmation. Make sense? In doing that, that's where the movement will come from. So, in dealing with that, this soul cycle is twofold. It's learning to start to sit with your emotions, and it's learning to trust your intuition. So the more that you try to work on focusing those two things in for how they work for you, the more aligned you'll feel. Make sense? Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. You're so welcome, Nikki. So welcome. Thanks for letting me in your energy. So don't forget, tonight is craft night. If you're someone who is a super fan, you're a unicorn, which means you get to vote on next week's movie night. The poll is up, so make sure you go check it out over in the Discord. Tomorrow is the Ether Study Hall workshop. It's all about energetic foundations. And then let's see, Thursday is Throwback Thursday. Friday is, nope, I do not do collective reads. Friday is, what's it called? The new podcast episode. It's also the Healer's Hearth collective energy work. And then Saturday is soul sessions, and Sunday is the live guided meditation. So those are all the fun things that are going on this week. I have 2 spots left for readings if you're someone who would like one. It is $22 a spot, and it's whatever comes through. So energy work, spirit guides, past life, whatever comes through is what we're going to go with. All right, Shayna, are you still in here with me? Is there anyone else who's been waiting on an oracle card who hasn't had it yet before I turn the viewer wishes back on? Because sometimes it gets a little cray-cray up in here. Crazy. Hi, Jasmine. How are you? Hi, Lucy. How are you? I hope everyone's having a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day outside. Can confirm. Can confirm. Ooh. And don't forget, Ember's on a 7-day free trial if you're someone who wants to check it out without any commitment attached to it at all. And if you have questions, not yes and no questions, okay? But if you have questions about like connecting to your own guides, starting energy work, any of those things, I would be happy to talk to you about them. But I will not answer yes and no questions unless you want me to answer with a question. Naomi, thanks for the manifesting. All right, let's see. Let's see. Hey, don't do that. Oh, Jack, here. Here you go. All right, Naomi, let's see what we got. What is a prominent soul cycle that Naomi is working through at the moment? Naomi, are you someone who has struggled with like your confidence and self-worth since like childhood time? Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Yodi, I'm going to be honest. I don't know what you mean by a spiritual spouse. Okay. So I'm going to show you a couple things. The 2 cards that just came out were the self-confidence and the family card. And again, so we're linking to yellow, okay? The other thing is that this links to our expression of self because it's blue, right? So it comes from our throat. So one of the soul cycles that you're working through in this carnation is overcoming other people's belief systems and being able to express yourself authentically without worrying about other people's perceptions of you. So let's look at some of the ways we can work through that. So I'm going to ask for a clarification on this. Just give me 1 second. Ooh, okay, so the battle card can mean a couple things. What it usually means is that someone is either stuck in a victim mentality or they are being victimized. It came out with the guilt card, which elicits to me sometimes being stuck in that victim mentality, which no judgment, but it's one of the ways that we give our energy and our power away. So what I can suggest to start working through this soul cycle is looking at ways to establish your identity to yourself. Because you, right? I bet if you sat with it, you don't feel that you're ugly. And when you hear that voice in your head that calls you ugly, I guarantee it is not your voice that says it. So one of the first ways is going to be starting to deconstruct who is actually calling me ugly, right? And is that a belief that I hold about myself? Because once we stop answering to the label no longer has power over us anymore. Does that make sense? And until you're able to break through that and start deciphering whose is yours and what isn't yours, the cycle will forever continue. And you're just going to be like chasing yourself. Make sense? Okay. So I want you to know that you are beautiful inside and out. Don't let other people dull your energy or dull your shine at all. Because you're worth more than that. So the next time that you hear that voice in your head, ask who it is and then sit with it and see how you feel and if you're able to change the belief system that it comes from. Thanks for letting me do that for you, Naomi. You're thebomb.com. Courtney, hello. How are you? You are very welcome, Naomi. Thanks for hanging out with me, my friend. Oh, I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. So I have 2 reading spots left. They're whatever comes through readings. They're 22 a piece. Also, don't forget, tonight is craft night if you want to come hang out. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then tomorrow is the Ether Study Hall workshop over in the Patreon for people in Ember Healer's Hearth and Soul Sanctuary. I am beautiful. I feel like you're lying to me, though. Sorry to call you out, but why are you lying to me? Can I come over there for a second? Can I also pull you in? Well, let me ask you a question. Before you give me permission to come over there, do you think there's anything that I could be helpful with that you would like help for? And if so, do you have time for energy work? Okay. All right. I'm coming. You make me feel like I want to puke. You've been like having like big feeling scary, like big scary feelings. You're okay. There's nothing to be. Is there something you're holding on to that you're refusing to communicate? Also, are you left side congested? Do you have time to move some of this? I think we can do something that this is. Can I ask you something? You don't have to answer me, but I want you to ask it to yourself. Is there a certain perspective about some situation that you're like really struggling to accept or even look at? Does that make sense? Like, okay, all right. Like, I just get the impression that there's multiple lenses to see something through, and there's part of you that's refusing to look through the other lenses. Like, you know those clicky things? What the fuck are those things called? Where like you put it up to your face and you click and the scene changes every time.